Entrusted with the gospel is what I want to share with you today. Entrusted with the gospel. What does it mean to be entrusted with something? The United States Supreme Court, they have been entrusted to interpret the meaning of a law. According to the Constitution, the judicial power of the United States shall be vested in one Supreme Court. The judicial power of the United States shall be vested in one Supreme Court and in such inferior courts as the Congress may from time to time ordain and establish. We trust that the Supreme Court will properly interpret law. We trust that the Supreme Court will do what it's been established to do. However, just because you are entrusted with something does not mean that you will do the right thing with it. Over the years, the Supreme Court has made some very bad decisions. Probably the worst decision that the Supreme Court has ever made happened in 1857 when a man by the name of Dred Scott, who was a slave here in Missouri, was taken by his masters to a free state, Illinois, and lived there for a while. But when he came back to Missouri, he was kept as a slave. So this case made it all the way to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court wrongly came to the conclusion that as a black man in this country, Dred Scott had no rights. They were entrusted to do the right thing, yet they did the wrong thing. Last week, the Supreme Court made another bad decision where they struck down affirmative action in higher education. It is strange how one person on this court in particular, I'm not going to name what's his name, uses a rope to climb to the very top. And then once he gets to the top, he cuts the rope so that no one else can use the very same rope that allowed him to make it to the highest court in the land. My point is this: when someone is entrusted with something, it doesn't necessarily mean they'll do the right thing. Although that is their role, that's the responsibility. Sometimes when we are entrusted or when people give confidence in us to do the right thing, we don't always do the right thing, and perhaps it's because we don't know what the right thing is.